Hi everyone, Paul here from the Tackle Shack, Wellsboro, Pennsylvania. Today I'm going to shoot a video with you showing you how to tie a sinking cicada. While fishing in Spring Creek about a week ago, Don noticed some fish going after dry cicadas that were going under, and thought what an idea it would be to do a sinking cicada. It's not heavily weighted, but it's just enough to take it under. So here we go. To start, we're going to make the eyes. I'm going to take and put the mono in on the big side of a 1/8 inch hot orange bead. I'm going to take my forceps and I'm going to pinch them in about 3/16 of an inch to hold it. Then take a lighter out the mono, then mash it into the bead so that it holds. Then we're going to take some resin, taking the bead out of the forceps. We're going to drop it in on the back side. Drop. And then hit it with a UV light. So in making these, I found that the width of my forceps worked great for spacing the bead. So I just crimp it tight. I'm cut this a little shorter, make it a little easier to manage. Once again, I'm going to take the large side of the bead, slide it over. I think I might trim that just a little bit. Once again, hit it with the lighter. And then take these out of the forceps. Add a drop of resin. Hit it with the UV light. I'm going to set those aside using a size 2 fulling mill streamer hook. Put that in a vise along with some 140 UTC in black. I'm going to wrap the shank. I leave my tag line on, keeps my threads pushed tight. I usually generally do that to right about the curve. And then I'll cut it. And then bring the wraps down around the curve a little bit, just to help extend the body. Then what we'll take is the squint chenille. I'll peel off some material till the inner cords are showing. I like to use that to grab on with the thread. Seems like you get a better bite. A few wraps to hold that in place. This is in UV black, by the way, squish chenille. Then I'll take an orange hackle, saddle hackle. Grab that. And then what I'll do is wrap this forward right around 3/16 from the front to the back of the eye to where I stopped the thread. We're going to tie the eyes in, keeping them back just a little bit. A little bit of a grab there, bring this over, and before we get them too tight, center them up a little bit. There you go. Use that to pull it forward. Twist them to their level. Do some figure eights on it. And then bring the thread back to just about 1/8 of an inch behind the eyes. Grab your squish chenille. Wrap up the shank. Until we get somewhere in here. And then what I like to do, and I found very helpful, is I just grab one wrap on the chenille, a couple wraps on the shaft. The reason why I'm doing that is because it's holding it, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to build this body up. So we're going to take the squish chenille, we're going to come back on a fairly sharp angle, one wrap around this way, one in the middle, and as we come out we're going to put it right back where we were. Once again, a couple wraps. Put this off to your right because you're going to grab your hackle. I'm going to do some segmentations with this. Once again, kind of end it where the thread's at. Just do one wrap, two on the shaft to hold it. Take all of this and put it back out of your way. I use a hair scrunchie where I can hold it on the shaft of my vise. Now we're going to get into the rubber leg part of it. So we're using an orange rubber leg. What I like to do here is take the thread forward and tuck it behind the eyes so it's right up here, right close to the back of the eyes. Pull this out fairly, I'd say a good 1.25 inches, using the thread and the V. And then what happens is it gives you, by tying back behind the eyes, it gives you a way to tie over to lock the legs in, plus it pitches them back. Once you go forward, bring it back, setting yourself up for the other side. Same scenario. This is just one piece of the rubber leg, so I don't really worry about how long it is. Position it, lay it back, tie it in. At this point, what I like to do is grab all four, put them straight up, and cut them to length. You can kind of adjust these a little bit. The next thing we're going to use is the crystal flash. This is just a judgment call that I made. I was trying to count strands, keep consistency, and I finally decided, you know what, I'm not counting strands. So what I've been doing, and try to get this where it stays in focus fairly well for you, is I pull off some strands and I lay them kind of flat and I pull them. That looks like a little bit too many. You want about 1/8 of an inch. It's a magic number here, about like that. Pulled flat, you want it to look like this. When you get that, pull those strands out. They're in half. So what I do is I'll grab them, pull them together like this, and then I fold them back on themselves once again, like this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have that once again on our thread. And we're going to do like we did with the rubber leg. We're going to use that, put it towards the front. I've got to grab my legs to get them out of the way, which we're going to do that here real quick right now. And then you grab all of this over your hook. And then what I do is I wrap until I can catch that crystal flash, and that'll pitch them back a little bit. Bring this forward, stop up front. And you're going to split these out so we have two separate loops on each side. Next, grab your chenille, your squish chenille, and we're going to do one wrap behind the eye. Now keep in mind you got to pull your rubber leg up around, it's going to grab it. And then as I come over, I'm going to go in front of the eye, and then we're going to tie it off. At this point we can cut, being careful not to cut our thread. Then we're going to grab onto our saddle hackle, and keeping the legs out of the way, we're going to do one wrap behind the eye. We're going to bring it up in front of the eye, and we're going to do another tie off right here. And we will cut that off. At this point we can whip finish. I only do about 3 because I'm going to put some resin on it anyway. Put another one on there. Okay. And cut that off. When we come up here, I'm going to catch the loops. Oh. Cut the loops off, and then I'm going to grab these 2 batches and I'm going to kind of pull them to the side. To cut them, you want to pull them straight back, and you want to cut about 3/8 of an inch behind the hook, like so. Take these, and the best thing to do is to put them together, bring them over beside it so you get them the same length, cut them off. And we got a straggler. The other side I like to do is these hackles kind of strong in here, so what I'll do is I'll use the rotation of my vise, I can cut that. So I'll stand there and just kind of rotate it as I go, leave these long, clear up around the eye a little bit. Careful not to cut your rubber legs off, I've done that. A little drop of UV. Hit it with the light. You can see the UV light really reflects well with the eyes. Does a great job. And there we go. Sinking cicada. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, I'm sure you could send us an email or call the shop and we'll be happy to answer. Thanks for watching.